Hello everyone, welcome to the London Resort Source. This is going to be part 1 of 2, where we're going to discuss the 7 themed lands.
Of course, it's all speculation at this point because it's all just concept art. But I feel like what they've got there on the concept art at the moment should be a fairly decent indication of the sort of rides that you could expect to see in each of the lands.
We would like to hear from you in the comments. Obviously, this is just our speculation. Just let us know the thoughts of the London Resort itself, but also what you think of our speculation as well, because everyone has different opinions. So,
and of course, to carry on hearing more than us, don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and like that goddamn video. First up, we're looking at the High Street here. So the way they describe it on the London Resort website is the entrance to the London Resort will be via a grand plaza that leads visitors and hotel guests through the High Street, full of shops, restaurants, hotels, a convention centre, and a first-class water park.
So this is the Alton Towers water park. We think that this is going to be a similar sort of concept for the London Resort. The fact that it's indoor, and again, we don't have the best weather. We feel it's going to be something along the lines of this.
Interestingly, I think most of all, there's going to be an esports arena, which I think is a really smart move from the London Resort company, because we don't have anything like that, a custom sort of esports arena in the UK, and it's an absolutely huge and constantly growing industry that's going to attract international audiences. All
the entertainment complexes there, the food and beverages, the restaurants. It's definitely a place you'd want to visit all year round. I can see the nightlife being very vibrant there.
I see it being quite similar to the O2 in that, the O2's there is a music venue primarily, but it's also just like a destination for people to go out, go to restaurants and bars and clubs. I see this being pretty similar. Moving on, this is the Starport, and I think this is probably going to be a land where we'll see a lot of the Paramount intellectual property come into play.
Let's see what the London Resort website says about the Starport section. So they say here, the final land dedicated to futuristic experiences, alien encounters and big thrill rides. The Starport is a bustling 23rd century landing zone. It will launch visitors into thrilling science fiction adventure that are out of this world, leaving them mesmerized at things that should be impossible, but are not.
So what do you think about this ride here, Steve?
I think the potential that ride could be sort of an observation tower or drop tower.
I think,
or maybe even an elevator which goes up to a restaurant or something like that.
What sort of food do they eat on Star Trek?
I don't know. What do they eat, like crisps and stuff? I don't know. What do they eat in space?
Ham Spock.
Ham Spock. Yeah, so they'll have that in like the special.
I come in peas. Bye. I think you can see just about on the concept art a kind of vehicle on the tower that looks more like the sort of vehicle that you see on an SMS space shop. But obviously it could be a number of things. The ride that I was thinking about when I looked at this was the Atmosphere. Remember the one that you went on, but I was too scared to go on at Liseberg.
These drop towers, I mean, debatable, but they are sort of the best drop towers you can get. They're the most forceful, the most intimidating. And I think this would be a great addition if they did put this into the Starport section. So
you can see here, this is the same ride. And what's really cool about the way it's built is that you're actually dropping down into this like complex, which is actually also the station for the Helix roller coaster, which if you look on the map that we were just at, you can kind of see how it looks like the station to the coaster is kind of in the same building as this.
So we're going to move on now to the roller coaster that's in the Starport section. And as you can see here, there's some blue roller coaster track, and it looks like it's launching out of this sort of sci-fi building we've got here. and goes into in around amongst the trees.
This bit here, I think, looks crazy. Where you can see it comes so close to the hotel. Imagine if you're in that that hotel room. That would just be terrifying.
It'll be terrifying, but also really cool. Because imagine seeing, a roller coaster hurtling towards you at 100 miles an hour, and then it just flings up.
The coaster that I'm thinking of that would suit this the most is, for those that don't know, there's a coaster that's just about to open in Phantasialand in Germany. That is a launched flying coaster, and I've found this interesting little bit of information here, which we'll switch to now via the magic of editing.
Stunning.
What we have here is concept art from Vekoma for their launched flying coaster. If you take a look at the colour of the track, it is actually the exact same colour of the track that you can see in the concept art. So we'll switch back to that now. Maybe one of the team at the London Resort saw that Vekoma artwork and was like, yes, we need one of those. And potentially that's how we've got this bit of concept art here.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, I think personally for me, I'm not the biggest fan of flying coasters. The Vekoma ones might change my mind. I don't know. We'll see. But I mean, personally for me, I'd like to see maybe an Intermin launch coaster. There's these new ones that are being built at the moment, which also have switch tracks, and they can launch. They can launch you backwards and forwards, and as you go back, you can go up like the crest of a track, and then there's a switch track, and then you go forward again. It's kind of like a new technology with roller coasters.
So here we have the jungle area, and this is how the area is described on the London Resort website. The past begins to blend with the future in the jungle. Ancient ruins of a mysterious, long Mesoamerican civilization are seen pushing up through treetops. Here, an overgrown environment brimming with ancient secrets, surprising discoveries, and strange mystical artifacts will be transported to the present by inquisitive explorers, young and old.
As we can see from this concept image, there's not a lot of ground to sort of walk on here, because they're not really showing a lot in terms of that area. Just kind of like a roller coaster, which looks like it's intertwining between the rocks.
The interesting point, I think, is that the coaster track on the schematic actually looks fairly long, whereas when you look at it on the sort of full art version, it doesn't look like there's much to it, but it seems like they're planning on for it to be a fairly large coaster.
Yeah, I could see it sort of being a family thrill coaster, maybe something similar to Big Thunder Mountain.
What I'm hoping for is if it is a family ride, that it's something along the lines of maybe the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. The interesting thing about it is that it has these trains that actually swing, which provides a bit more of a thrill aspect.
Yeah, I think I could see this being in the jungle themed area for sure. I mean, you've got all these rocks that it's sort of racing past and going through sort of waterfalls under bridges, as you can see. It'll definitely suit the area, the park.
This is my I guess would love to have option, which would be an Intermin Blitz coaster similar to Taron at Phantasialand, which we've been talking about a lot in this episode. But Steve, I've not actually been on it, but you've been on it. So what's this coaster like?
Well, it's one of my favourites. It's definitely in I'd say my top 5, and it's really thrilling. It's fast. You get a lot of airtime, a lot of very tight corners as well, and it just feels smooth as well. And the theming is amazing, and the second launch is very, very quick. The way it goes into a bank turn, and then it sort of dives down, and then it's into this corner here, which you see in the photo. It's a very thrilling ride, and it'll just be amazing if we got something like this in the UK.
If you look on that full artwork that we were on earlier, you can see that there's a lot of ducking and diving out of the structure, which I think would suit this kind of Intermin Blitz coaster really well. So if they were looking
Yeah.
to build a more thrilling ride in the jungle area, I think this would be a great choice.
Yeah, so this is one of the concept arts for the jungle area. But as you can see, we have a river rapids ride here. It always suits sort of the jungle themed area. And there's also these new sort of river rapids rides, aren't there, Nick? There's one at SeaWorld, and I can't think where else there is one, but
At Silver Dollar City.
Silver Dollar City, yeah. Yeah,
Mystic Falls, it's called.
No, they're also just great family rides, and they're good fun, and I just think every theme park needs a rapids ride.
These new ones, like Mystic Falls, are a bit more thrilling. So they have fairly large drops, which I think adds another dimension to them.
Yeah.
Obviously, a lot of these rapids rides, you're just kind of meandering around fairly slowly, and the element of thrill is not so much there. But
yeah,
it's nice to have a bit of a big drop in there.
So we're now moving on to our last themed zone that we're looking at today, and just going to go on the description on the website for the Isles, which is a land of giant creatures, mythical beasts, and adventures at the crossroads of imagination and reality. Fantastic jaw-dropping architecture will combine with magnificent rides and 21st century technology.
Judging by other sort of parks that have an area like this, it does lend itself quite well to the indoor rides. And also, I expect that there's going to be a couple of water rides. I think we can see that there's one quite massive one here.
Yeah.
It's going to be probably the best water ride in the park you'd expect.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I could see that being sort of a tidal wave-esque sort of water ride.
So this is the land on the full artwork map, and you can see it's got that kind of standard sort of ancient Rome, sort of ancient, like, what's that place in Central America? Ancient Aztec.
I always think of things like Lost Continent as well at Universal. They'll have that. It's got that sort of vibe going on, hasn't it?
But let's talk a bit about this ride here. What sort of ride do you think this is going to be, Steve?
I think potentially I could see it being something along the lines of like a water coaster, maybe Journey to Atlantis or at SeaWorld Orlando, or where I have like the dark element where you go into the building and then you go up the lift hill and then you go down the drop.
Yeah, I would love to see a water coaster here, and I think that from the concept art, they've definitely taken a huge amount of inspiration from this ride. Even the building structure looks fairly similar, and I'd be happy to see something like this. I think it would be a step up from your standard tidal wave sort of splashdown ride. But actually, if I was to really get my way, it would be the world's second only Intermin aqua tracks. So just down below, there'll be a link to a video by Intermin, so you can take a look at this ride's POV. But basically, it's a really interesting ride type that combines the Intermin Blitz with a water coaster. So it's actually a launched water coaster that has LSM electromagnetic launch, but also has water features, and you're sat in these pre-open trains that provide a pretty intense and thrilling experience, but one that I think is still pretty accessible for the family. So I think that if they were trying to, build the world's highest class rides, this would be a really good choice.
Yeah, I think the combination of water and roller coaster will definitely go down well with the public, and it's again something we don't have in the UK, and they're sort of quite rare in Europe as well. So I think this would be quite a unique attraction for the London resort, and yeah, we'd love to see one there, definitely.
It will be really great to hear what you think of our speculation today. Just let us know what you think in the comments section, and let's get a discussion going on what rides we're going to see.
Yeah, so that's it for this video. Thank you for tuning in. This is part one. Stay tuned for part two, which should be coming in the next few weeks. And yes, goodbye for now.
goodbye for now. Remember to please like the video if you did like it, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.